Sometimes when a man looks at you, you feel that something has changed without needing words. You haven't spoken, you don't have a story. But inside him, a silent attraction to you begins. It's as if you are a face he hasn't seen in years, but recognizes from somewhere. He can't quite understand it either. But your presence opens a door in his subconscious. This is something beyond outward appearance. It is something beyond the tone of voice, the smile, or even the style. It is about energy. Because some women can emotionally shake a man just by their presence. He is drawn to you, but he doesn't know why. He looks at you, but he can't explain why something stirs in his heart. This is where the deepest layer of love comes into play. And that area that most people never notice comes into action. Carl Jung's understanding of psychology also begins here. Because what we call love cannot be explained solely by hormones, external stimuli, or coincidence. True love begins when a woman's energy touches a man's subconscious. But it's not just about radiating energy. It's about radiating the right energy. A woman's self-aware, authentic, and powerful state quietly reaches a man's most vulnerable point. And at that moment, something is triggered. Some call it attraction, others call it love at first sight. But in reality, it's the result of the energy you carry without even realizing it. And this is no coincidence. It's an ancient psychological mechanism. Today I'll share with you the 6 secrets based on Carl Jung's ideas that can suddenly make a man fall in love with a woman. These secrets go far beyond physical beauty. These secrets are based on the powers that 99% of women are unaware of, but actually carry within them. By the end of this video, you'll understand why a man is drawn to you, but not to someone else. And most importantly, you'll find the answer to this question: am I this woman, or am I ready to become her? Before watching the video, don't forget to write 777 in the comments. This number will increase your energy and the energy of the video. By sending the video to a woman now, you can help the video reach many women. If you have subscribed to the channel, let's get started. 1. Centered woman. If a woman softens the atmosphere around her without even saying a word, if the people around her calm down involuntarily in her presence, and especially if a man begins to feel comfortable being himself around her, that is when the first frequency necessary for love becomes active. Because this woman has an inner silence. She does not seek approval. She does not rush. She does not try to prove herself. She has no intention of impressing anyone. And that is precisely why she is so impressive. As Jung said, when a person establishes balance within themselves, the energy they project outward becomes complementary. If a woman is self-sufficient, she does not touch on the man's shortcomings. She brings out his strengths. This triggers the man's inner security. But the secret is this woman neither wants to change the man nor direct him. She is simply centered in herself. When the man approaches this woman, he does not think, I must impress her. No, he thinks, why am I so at peace with her? And love begins precisely here. Because for the first time, the man feels valued without having to make an effort. This is the moment that makes him fall in love. He forms a bond without even realizing it. He cannot put this state of the woman into words, but even a short time spent with her makes him want to stay there. This is not physical attraction. It is a bond of peace. And this bond quickly draws a man in emotionally. If you are at peace with yourself, internally fulfilled, this state of yours draws a man into a wordless but deep love. 2. Emotional field. There are some women, when you sit next to them, a slowing down begins inside you. Your heart rate slows. Your mind talks less. Because that woman radiates an inner energy field, even if it's not visible from the outside. Softness, acceptance, emotional openness. This woman's inner world is judgment-free. She carries a compassion close to unconditional love, but she doesn't do it with the intention of giving. This is her natural frequency. The feminine principle that Carl Jung defined as anima is exactly this, an attraction born not from harshness but from openness. This woman does not fight, compete, or force. She creates space, and a man for the first time finds the courage to lower his guard in the presence of such a woman. That is precisely why a man feels an immediate connection when he meets this woman. He may not have spoken to her yet, but a drawing in begins. It is as if his soul recognizes her, as if he has found the softness he has been searching for so long. This woman does not make noise, but her silence creates a deep resonance in a man's inner world, because that energy invites, and the man who is invited becomes attached without realizing it. When a woman is in this state, everything around her softens. Even tough men calm down. Even those in a hurry learn to wait. Because this woman organizes the space with her own energy, and this energy opens the unconscious door to love. The man is fascinated by this energy, but he can't find the words. He just says, "I feel good when I'm with her." But this good feeling is actually like a longing to return to the home of his soul. And this bond arises not from words, but from vibration. That's why these women, even though they seem to do very little, become the women with whom the strongest bonds are formed. Because they don't force it, they just are. And this state of being, suddenly and deeply, makes a man fall in love. 3. Creativity. There are some women, when you listen to them, you feel not only what they say, but also what they don't say. These women come into the world, not only with their physical presence, but also with their inner worlds. They may be close to art. They are sensitive to emotions. They have dreams, intuitions, and a search for meaning. They have an eye that can see the extraordinary in ordinary things. And when a man encounters such a woman, for the first time, it is not just his body, but his soul that is drawn to someone. This creates an indescribable state. Because a man usually approaches a woman with the desire to touch her. But this woman touches the soul first. And this connection creates a bond far beyond the physical. This woman tells stories. But those stories are not about her past. They are the voice of her soul. When speaking with this woman, a man feels he has stepped into another reality for the first time. Because this woman does not just see the world as it is, she makes you feel it as it is. According to Carl Jung's approach, the creative mind is the door to the unconscious, and a creative woman already keeps this door open internally. She is not bound by any order when expressing herself. She lives according to the call of her soul. She has a perspective that can make even an ordinary day magical. And this magic creates the thought in the man's mind that I should spend more time with her. But this desire to spend time together is not just for fun or excitement. Being with this woman is like a spiritual journey. When a man stands beside her, he encounters his own emotions. In her eyes, he sees a place that is unknown yet very familiar. Men cannot explain this, but they say, talking to her makes me feel good. What they really mean is, when I'm with her, I feel closer to myself. This woman is not ordinary, because her inner world is not ordinary. Her way of thinking, her way of feeling, her perspective on events, opens a whole new window in the man's mind. And once that window is opened, it never closes. Even if the woman passes by, she leaves a mark on the man's soul, because there is depth there, and depth creates a bond. As Jung said, a person only becomes whole when they accept their unconscious. The creative woman is a friend to the unconscious. She is not afraid there. She wanders there, observes, and transforms it into writing, words, and silence. And this state enchants the man, because getting to know that woman is like approaching one's own unknown. In conclusion, a creative and spiritually deep woman does not attract a man to herself. She draws him to herself, and that is why that man feels a spiritual longing for this woman, not a physical one. What he longs for when he thinks of this woman is the feeling of being closer to himself when he is with her. And this state is the foundation of true love. 4. Intuition. There are some women who feel before they speak, listen before they respond, and consult their inner voice before making a decision. These women are not quick, but they are certain. They follow the direction of their hearts, not the direction of the crowd. They carry an invisible compass within them, and this compass always calls them to the center. This inner guidance is incomprehensible from the outside, but its effect is great. When a man approaches such a woman, he senses a wisdom within her. This wisdom is not revealed through knowledge, but through intuition, feeling, and posture. The woman does not act as if she knows what will happen and when, but she does not rush. She is not indecisive, but she does not force things either. When talking to her, a man feels that he is not meeting someone for the first time, but a source. Because this woman takes her direction from within, not from outside. This makes her speech more compelling, her gaze more meaningful, and her posture more grounded. According to Carl Jung, A person cannot establish a real relationship with the outside world without knowing their own inner world, because someone with a chaotic inner world spreads chaos to everyone around them. But this woman has cleansed and understood her inner self and is centered. This state of being, though not immediately apparent to a man at first glance, inspires deep admiration, because an intuitive woman does not just give a man answers, she makes herself known to him. When a man talks to such a woman, he connects with his intuitive side. It is not something he does not know, but something he has forgotten and begins to remember. He becomes more silent and thoughtful in her presence. But precisely because of this, her presence becomes more significant. An intuitive woman is not manipulative. She does not make an effort to understand what someone needs. She simply feels it. And most importantly, she applies this intuition to herself. One who does not know their own direction cannot guide another. But this woman has passed through her own darkness, patiently looked at her own questions, and learned to find answers within herself. Therefore she does not try to impress a man. She does not compete with him, but she instantly wins his attention, his mind, his heart, and most importantly, his respect. This woman carries a quiet confidence, because she does not need external approval. She has learned to move forward without approval. And when a man senses this, he feels not just a woman in front of him, but a depth. This depth creates admiration in the man, then curiosity, and finally, attachment. Because as the man tries to get to know this woman, he actually begins to get to know himself. And that is why some women reach a man's deepest layers without even trying. These women don't say much, they don't show much, but they make you feel a lot. When a woman begins to trust her inner guidance, the energy she radiates becomes a field of attraction. This attraction is not just physical, it is spiritual. And this spiritual attraction is a secret weapon that suddenly makes a man fall in love. A weapon more powerful than all the others. 5. Mine she doesn't chase. There are some women, time flows more slowly in their presence. There is no calculation in their conversations, no strategy in their behavior. They don't try to achieve or impress anything, because they are already captivating by nature. And precisely for this reason, they are the women who reach the heart the fastest. These women are part of a flow, not a plan. They don't calculate when a man will send a message. They don't respond to a move. They feel the moment more than they have expectations. They trust in feeling time, not managing it. And this trust gives them such a sense of calm that a man remembers to breathe when he is with her. According to Carl Jung, personality masks or persona are the faces individuals wear to be accepted in society. But this woman has long since discarded those masks. She doesn't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. And this state of sincerity creates a very strong sense of trust on a subconscious level. Because her sincerity is not artificial, it is the natural flow itself. When a man looks at this woman, he lets go of his mental fatigue. Because he no longer has to compete with anyone. He doesn't have to prove anything. It is enough to simply be, and it is this state of being that quickly draws a man emotionally. Because for the first time, a man realizes that he can be himself when he is with someone. This woman does not constantly think. Sometimes she just feels. She does not constantly explain. Sometimes she just looks. She does not constantly direct. Sometimes she just waits. And this waiting is not pressure, it is an invitation. This woman does not chase after anything, but everything takes shape around her. Because she does not hold herself back, life holds her. According to Jung's theory, individuals who can reach the deep layers of existence show less resistance to the world. And this less resistant state allows the person to establish a higher harmony with their surroundings. This woman lives that state. Being with her is easy, but it is not superficial. This woman dances to the natural rhythm of life. And when a man joins this dance, he feels lighter than he ever imagined. This woman's charm does not come from a movement or an outfit. Her charm lies in the naturalness of her connection with the world. When a man enters this flow, he approaches not only a woman, but also to his own freedom. And that is why some women, without forcing anything, without controlling anything, form the deepest connections, because that connection is not built through effort, but through authenticity. I saved my most secret weapon for last. The woman who walks away. Some women don't threaten to leave, they just quietly walk away. They don't use leaving as a game or a tactic, because for them leaving is not the result of a decision, but of a value. And that decision is not a sudden reaction, but a realization that has come about over time, through observation, patience, and inner clarity. A man doesn't truly lose her when she leaves. He begins to lose her in that deep silence when she makes her decision. Because that silence for a woman isn't just about staying silent, it's about no longer taking a step back. This woman has never existed by clinging to someone else. Her love does not arise from a need, it is a choice, a consciousness, a state of self-sufficiency. And precisely for this reason, her staying is always a gift, while her leaving is the transformation of an unnoticed richness into absence. This woman's departure is not a whim, but an act of self-respect. She neither seeks to hurt, nor to leave a trace behind, yet she leaves a trace nonetheless, for her absence speaks louder than her presence. As Carl Jung said in his individuation process, a person who has reached their center is no longer dependent on external approval. This woman walks by her own inner compass. She looks not at what the person she is with gives her, but at what she loses within herself. And if a relationship distances her from her true self, she does not hesitate to walk away. She does not look back. Her progress is silent, but powerful. When she leaves, she does not leave a void behind, only a sense of being left alone with a kind of reality. When a man loses such a woman, he usually does not feel anything at first, because her departure is not loud or dramatic. But as time passes, when the woman does not return, and something still feels missing, that is when he realizes how heavy that silence is. And this realization often gives birth to a belated love, a belated one-sided bond that is now nourished only by longing. This woman comes to a relationship not to play games, but to share the truth. When she loves, she is genuine. When she leaves, she is resolute. She is loyal to herself. She never accepts giving up herself to love someone else. And this loyalty leaves such an impression on the man that he can't find what he's looking for in any other woman. Because now he doesn't just miss the woman, he misses the mature version of himself he felt when he was with her. Her departure is like a reminder. What is missing is not the woman, it is the man's inner transformation. According to Jung's concept of the shadow, the parts of a person that they cannot admit to themselves only emerge when they confront another person. This woman becomes the mirror of that confrontation. And when the man does not have the courage to look into that mirror, he loses the woman. But this loss cannot be recovered, because the woman who has left does not return. She does not seek, does not search, nor does she wonder about his state. She has not merely left, she has completely withdrawn with her energy, her emotions, and her resolve. And the only sentence echoing within the man remains: why did I only understand her after she was gone? That is why that woman is often not the one who receives the most attention, but she is the one who is most remembered. Because some women are not loved while they are present, their absence is only felt when they leave, and that absence cannot be filled for a lifetime. Some women exist in this world, not just to be loved, but to remind. Their presence makes a man aware not only of love, but also of his own inner depth. Those women don't shout, compete, or prove themselves, but their souls create vibrations even when they stand silently in a room. This vibration doesn't come from beauty, but from awareness. The energy of a woman who knows herself works not outwardly, but inwardly. That's why some men don't understand them at first sight, but only days later. Because true attraction begins not with the eyes, but with an inner encounter. And that encounter is not planned, not directed, it just happens. If you find something of yourself in these lines, know that it is not just a coincidence. The feminine energy within you already knows these truths, but perhaps it has been silenced, suppressed, ignored for a long time. Perhaps you too have spent years trying to shape yourself in order to be loved. You tried to be less, to be quieter, to appear more compliant. But true womanhood is not about diminishing yourself, but about remembering. Remembering your soul, what you want, what you won't settle for, and who you are. This act of remembering transforms a man, transforms a relationship, and rebuilds a life. As Carl Jung noted, love is not just a journey toward the other, but a journey toward oneself. And when a woman begins to walk in her own light, she is no longer just attractive in a man's eyes. She becomes a guide, a transformer, and unforgettable. Because true attraction arises not from need, but from equality. The woman who turns inward no longer seeks approval. She does not strive to be loved, because the love within her is complete. And this completeness catches a man off guard in his most vulnerable moment. He is no longer captivated by a woman, but by her peace, her depth, her center. So if you've been saying that you've always attracted the wrong men, this may not be a punishment, but an invitation. Perhaps instead of waiting for someone else to choose you, you need to meet the woman within yourself. Because feminine energy doesn't amplify where it's directed, it amplifies when it turns inward. And when you turn inward, your energy begins to choose. The light radiating from your heart brings not only love, but also what is valuable. Internalize these 6 secrets, not just to attract a man, but to build a deeper connection with yourself. Because a woman who truly remembers is never forgotten. Remember, you choose with your energy. Your vibration decides who enters your space. So if you keep attracting people into your life who drain you and diminish you, it's not your fault. It's a sign that it's time for transformation. Womanhood is not about constantly giving until you're empty. It's about filling yourself up until you overflow. And that overflowing state comes with love, trust, and loyalty to yourself. When a woman settles into her center, she no longer tries to attract attention, because she knows that the right man will see her anyway. The right man finds peace, even in her silence. He wants to stand by her side, not compete with her. Because this woman calls not for competition, but for completion. And this call is heard only by those who are ready. If what you've read so far has opened a door for you, this is just the beginning. Know that all your power is already within you. You are the woman who is loved for her presence. You are the woman who brings peace with her stay and leaves a mark with her departure. And there are few such women in this world, but you are one of them. If this journey has spoken to you, leave just one word in the comments. I choose peace. This is not a comment. It is an intention. As you choose peace, peace chooses you. See you in the next video.